Hello and welcome to Awaken Your Human Design. My name is Moni and this is my wonderful co-host Danny. And today we're bringing it back to basics. We're going to find some grounding and we're going to go into strategy made simple. We're going to go through the types and why the strategies are what they are and how to work with it and understand it better.
Yeah, it'll be good because we'll just focus on strategy and authority and just this one aspect of it all, and we'll bring in the rest of the stuff with it, so you'll be able to see clearly.
Yeah, absolutely. I feel like one of the things I love about human design is it does go endlessly deep. And so if you have that voracious curiosity, there's always something more you can discover. And so we've been doing all this really like heavy, deep level stuff. And it's like, let's bring it back. Let's bring it back to like, sure, you can go as deep as you like. And if that's where you're into, get it. But a lot of people, it's like you just need strategy and authority. And you could really go very far if you just understand that about yourself.
Well, it really is back to the basics, and it's the thing that you rely on most in order to interface with your own genome. I mean, it's easy to lose track of the minutia, right? The thing that is so small, but which is so big at the same time. Obviously, this is our prime way to literally interface with what's going on genetically that's driving our behavior, specifically that we would never be able to see without it. So it'll be interesting.
It's gonna be really good. If you would like to book a reading with either Danny or myself, check out the QR code right above me, or the link is down in the description box below, and you can use code AWAKEN for 10% off, so you can save a little bit. So if you're new to human design, or if you're a seasoned pro, if you have some questions about your life or how to interact with the world, with others, with people you love, hit us up, let us know, and we can do a reading for you.
Single sessions for whatever and or lengthier sessions if you need to have a crash course in a certain area. We can do 3 in a row. You'll get a special break on that.
Yeah, absolutely. And then, if you're getting a lot out of our episodes and you'd like to help support us and encourage us, then check out the QR code above me if you want to donate. We also have that link down in the description box below. Thank you very much. And thank you to everyone who's watching, liking, subscribing, commenting, hanging out, asking us questions, doing all the fun stuff. And let's get into it.
Let's get into it.
So starting off, aura and type. The world's population is divided by auras with 4 different types of human beings, each with a different strategy for how they best function without resistance. Strategy is the logical surrender to our form based on our individual type, which allows our vehicle to surrender to the flow of life.
Yeah, these each would different for how they best function. The functioning where you see that it helps you in your life as it relates to removing the resistance and creating more of yourself in movement, yourself, in your own life. At the same time, it's also still that strategy by which you get to see insight. Oh my God, that's true. Oh my God, that isn't true. And it's a place to find reliable truth within your body. And when we mix it with the authority, that cinches the deal. You get to see this place that defines the ultimate truth inside of you.
Yeah, we'll be talking about authority next week, so stay tuned for that one. But yeah, this idea of we all have an electromagnetic field around us, right? We have this aura and this biofield. There's different words for it, but it is this, what is it? Goes out like an extra, like you have your arm length and then it's an extra arm length beyond there. So it's like your aura extends like, what is it, like 12, 15 feet beyond you. It's why you can feel a vibe on somebody when you get, 15 feet away, 10 feet, like you can feel somebody of like good vibe, bad vibe kind of thing. And this idea that we can understand this about ourselves and the specificity of our aura and how it interacts with others and the world, and how it's actually our auras that determine which of these 4 types that we are.
Yeah, it's the aura and the type they interface. They are one. The electron and the nucleus, they are one. Um, and so they actually need each other. In a lot of ways, it's the aura that actually defines the type. So the different centers get lit up, the different types are made by what the definition is or not. And once that is made, it represents an aura, and that aura turns right back and represents exactly what's in that body graph. So they work together. The 15 feet, the longer aura, I'm pretty sure that's just for the gate 15. Or if you have the channel of rhythm that creates the double wide, everyone else's aura is within that, a little more than an
12.
arm. Add a foot, well, add a foot to the ends of your fingertips on each side,
Gotcha.
maybe on or about you, and you're totally in it. Another 4 or 5 feet, you can sense it. There's
Yep.
sensory. It's a different depth. But then
I
if you've got
feel
that gate 15, it does move out like much farther. It's that
Yeah, it's
electro.
probably like 10 to 15 feet, depending on the specifics of your chart, basically.
Indeed. Well, we know it when we feel it. That's for sure. That's the point about aura. Aura is this thing that you are broadcasting out, and at the same time, be aware it is broadcasting the elements of your design along with it. It works no different than a sophisticated Wi-Fi in the sense that it moves immediately and it broadcasts all the info. It's obviously 100 times more sophisticated because of what it and how it's broadcasting, but everything goes. And
It's
theirs
like
comes into us. The auras are the things that put us into them and them into us. It's intense.
it's like an energetic data field bubble around us. And it's like, okay, we can't see it, but there's a tangibility to it. It's like, I always joke, like, imagine how many, text messages and video messages and pictures are like all flying through us right now. It's like there's Wi-Fi waves, there's radio waves, there's all these different
Yeah,
waves that are going through us and pushing data around. Like, we're obviously very aware with that, of like everything wireless is data pushing around. So it's that same concept as like we all have this like data bubble around us that is then going to interact and intermesh with other people's data bubbles.
yeah, very, very much so. It's as if we're um, sort of almost part of the Akashic record in a way. It's like the aura is part of the announcer and the receiver of it. But yeah, no, this aura defines you. And as we start to describe this aura, you'll see why it fits with the type. And then as you see those two things go together, the strategy is going to end up making sense because you'll see it. And so if you're watching, your head will start nodding if you know your type, and that's a good sign. And then you put it all together, and suddenly we see how, oh my God, we are all this different thing. And so, yep.
Perfect.
Manifestors, you'll be able to give us generators and projectors a break for not going too fast. Everyone else, you'll be able to give us Manigens a break for going too fast. And
Yeah, it's definitely a
no,
way to
no.
better understand yourself and other people, because it's really easy to be like, why isn't so and so XYZ? Why does this person act this way? But if you can understand somebody by their aura, then it could really help to have more compassion for yourself and for others.
Electromagnetic presence, just lastly, your aura is a physical thing in the world. A physical thing in the form of energy, undoubtedly exciting matter. I don't know at the quantum level how you'd like to describe that, but there's math for it. Obviously, it is an energetic field we put out as electric beings. It should be no surprise. It's not like it's a mystery. We've
Yeah.
measured this thing over and over.
I mean, I think anyone who has been walking late at night and you feel the creepy energy of some dude across the street and you go the other way, like, you picked up on something.
There you go, Moni. That's a good one. We all know this moment. We all have these moments.
Right.
Cool.
Let's mosey.
Hmm.
So we're going to start off with our manifestors, who make up 9% of the population. So manifestors have no defined sacral. So on our little body graph, I have my cursor over the sacral, and it is a white box. So the sacral is undefined, but then there's another motor that goes to the throat. So in our example here, we have the will to the throat, or the solar plexus to the throat. These are our three main manifestor channels. But if the root center down here, this is also a motor, if it made its way up to the throat, that could also be another configuration therein. And
Yep.
manifestors have the capacity to initiate or manifest, and they're here to impact us. They have this closed and repelling aura, which isn't, it doesn't necessarily sound the nicest. Like this idea of repelling, I know that can hurt our manifestors' feelings because they tend to be the most sensitive. But it's this idea of they have almost like an armor around them that is kind of pushing the world away from them. It's pushing away undue influence. It's they're able to just like part the Red Seas like Moses, right? They can just go and do the thing and push it into the world. So they're here to not be influenced so they can push people away.
Yeah, half of that resistance or pushing away is the stuff from within them that has been conditioned in. So it's both. It's from within and from without. Look at this word resistant like what you would want in a good mosquito repellent. I mean, literally, that's what it's doing. It's keeping the little things that will sap your vitality because the capacity of the manifester is to simply do outside of response without a wait for a response like a generator, without a wait for an invitation like a projector, and for a reflector, without an acknowledgement, a wait, and a sampling and an intermingling with the reflector, so none of that. They don't need any of that. to do. They just need it as after they start doing, because we all need people. Their job is to make an impact. That's one of the keynotes. Manifestors are here to make an impact. And when they see their impact, the bigger their impact and the better and the cleaner, the more peace they have. We're good. I think that's the next slide. Or was this just one manifestor slide?
Yeah, and then we're just going to talk about all the manifestor stuff on
Okay,
the sleep
cool.
side. Yeah.
Perfect. So there's your peace anger binary that they're looking at, but they're always looking for peace and using and finding their anger when they run into the bad mosquito repellent, and little pinpricks from the entire world keep coming in, causing resistance, because sometimes they're big and they actually stop the manifestor, and suddenly there's anger. You need to recognize this anger is beautiful for you. It tells you, my frustration tells me, and your anger tells you, and it's a sense inside your body. It's a beautiful thing. It leads us all to how we're going to get to your strategy. You start seeing this. You've got this signature of peace, right? You've got an impact that you're making. So we're up to these keynotes. You've also got an impact list. Every manifestor has this beautiful impact list where they don't normally think about it much. But I'm asking you, think about it if you're a manifestor. As soon as you're making decisions along the way, little minor ones, don't worry about it. But as they get bigger, who do I impact? It reminds you that you're here, and impact is part of that juice that gives you peace. You sort of forget that part because you just want the peace and get pissed if you can't have it. Um, Sort of like manage and skip steps. And you take all this together and you end up with this beautiful strategy, an aura that is designed to push people out of the way and let the ones you love, let them in, they can come close. But you can push them out of the way too, by the way. You'll always be able to push out of the way the resistance that would stop you from initiating something without any waiting for response or invitation or anything, any kind of recognition. You just do. You're supposed to do that. You're little wild stallions, all of you, in one way, shape, or form, emotional or not. And you know it. You want it that way. So how does the strategy work to get you so you can live your life without resistance? The strategy to inform, right? If they if they got raised with at least some manners, that's wicked helpful. So if you got manifestor kids, you teach them manners and to ask permission a little bit, and to just manners and please and thank you and courteousness. But as they get older, they don't need that anymore. What they really need is to just inform. It's a casual thing. It's easy, and it's a choice too. That's why this strategy seems a little unnormal to the manifestor, because they have to implement it. I don't have to implement my strategy. My strategy and the world implements me, and the same, and technically the same with you, but more sophisticated, Moni,
Yeah,
because it's also with people.
yeah, with manifestors, because manifestors can just do the thing. There's nothing that's stopping this manifestor child from like walking out the door and like
Right,
playing in the forest. They can just do it. Another type, okay, you're gonna wait for the response or being invited or whatnot. A manifestor can just do the thing. So it doesn't come naturally to think, I'm gonna tell somebody what I'm gonna do. Because I could just
right.
do it. Why would I tell them? I could just do the thing. So it doesn't come naturally, but that's the trick of it is if the manifestor just does something without informing, that closed, repelling, impactful aura like knocks people out. It's
Becomes
like
frightening to them one
it
way
becomes
in their little core area.
Oh yeah, and like legitimately dangerous. It's the guy you're driving behind who doesn't put on his signal and all of a sudden he just stops to turn left. And you're like, "Why didn't you put on your directional? Like why did you just like stop and like cause this accident?" And of course people are going to like, throw you the bird and be
Right,
upset about it because you failed to inform that you're now going to impact everyone else behind you. So yeah, they're going to get annoyed and try to stop you from doing the thing that's going to harm them in some capacity. So
mm,
like for manifestors to really understand that is if you inform us, we don't care what you do most of the times. It's the
right.
lack of informing that then whacks the door in my face where I'm like, what is going on here? And then I'm going to try to stop you or I'm going to try to defend or protect myself or however it shows up.
Or find out what you're up to. I mean, it's almost like a natural, thing that humanity has. What are you up to? What are they up to? Hey, what's
What
up?
are you doing?
What's
You don't know
going
what
up?
they're going
What's
to
up
do.
over there? It's
Uh-huh.
just a thing, and it's a natural energy. In fact, it's part of a survival instinct. What are you doing? What are you doing? Actually, that's as natural as can be. What's up?
I don't
And
know what
so
this is. This can cause chaos.
it
This
could.
manifester can cause chaos. I don't know what it is. That makes me scared. So of course I'm going to try to control the Tasmanian devil that might destroy my home.
That independent decision maker is all it is. So manifestors, as you're out in the world, recognize this. That strategy of to inform is a really finessed thing. You get to be real full and fully embody all the ways that will work out for you. You're not going to tell everyone everything. That's not what informing means. You get a loudspeaker and start yelling out, "I'm going to the store." That's not,
Was like the John Cusack movie with the
yeah,
boombox above his head.
that actually you might want to do that sometime. You would initiate that moment if it were just right, Mr. Manifester. And we like that. But regardless, just recognize how much this will literally reduce the resistance in your life, like Moni was saying. I want you to think about, I'll inform, hey, I've been to the store. Okay, one informing, right? Let's come up with some Moni. It's like I need to spend $1,000.
Cool.
That's both a question and an informing. It's like,
Mm,
you're saying, and you'll see it, you'll find words that you'll use, but you'll see that as you say it out loud, the resistance to try to stop you goes down. If there and you have to test it, you have to play with it, you have to go through moments of like being concerned that you're stepping on toes, that you're being rude, because sometimes manifestors have been trained, almost had it beaten into them to try to play it small because they're too big. But
hmm
in reality, what we need our manifestors, we need you guys to be big as you'd like to be,
Just
whatever
tell
that
us.
means.
Just tell us to get out of the way.
Right,
Be big and
right.
just tell me and I'll get out of the way.
Or better yet, will come along. That's the beauty of the manifester. They create a wake and they don't even know it. I would like
hmm
you to look back once in a while so you can understand this impact list I was asking you to make a moment ago, so you can see, oh, there is a wake behind me. There's a noticeable wake of like you're in a boat and it kicks up
hmm
the water behind it. Well, like that's my favorite example because that's where all the, water skiing fun is right behind the wake of the boat, or at least some of it. You can, you catch air there. You can
Yeah,
hit
there's
that
that you
thing
could
and
go
go.
tubing.
Yeah, tubing, dude. I got knocked over tubing last time I did tubing. It was great, flying through the air on that thing. I made it 3 times, and the fourth time the guy made me bounce. It was perfect. Yeah, and so but that wake is you. That wake is you, and tell people. And the bigger the thing, the more selective the tell, because it matters. Sometimes when you don't tell, watch. Many times it won't matter. Um, I'm
Well,
going to brush my teeth now. Maybe it doesn't matter. That's
but
just
that's
that.
a good way to practice though. Like it's the little things that the manifestors in my life who do this well, it's like they just announce like I'm gonna go have a cigarette and like cool, I don't care. There's almost this sense of why would you tell me? Because
Right.
it almost feels like that and it almost feels silly, but it's just like just let us know and then you go do the thing and you can feel, or at least I could feel the energy shift around the manifester where if they just declarative statement I am going to XYZ. The energy around them, it does open up. It's like it's more condensed. And as soon as the manifester informs, it turns into jello or like soft butter that they can just make their way through. And this idea of informing the people who will be impacted. If this is
Mm,
going to whack somebody in the face, let them know.
right.
I'm going to go
Right.
do this. Well, maybe this person would have been looking for you if you didn't announce that you're going to go take a smoke break. Maybe now somebody's looking for you and they're going to get all upset. Whereas you're going to be like, hey, I'm going to go outside for a bit. I'll be back in 10 minutes. Don't, leave me alone, whatever
Yep.
kind of thing. And this idea with manifestors is just provide like a declarative statement. And in the same way with the manifestors in your life, speak to them in declarative statements. We have another episode
Yes.
coming up in a few
Yep.
weeks of talking to each type, so stay tuned for that. But this idea of manifestors want to be informed and manifestors just inform us of what you're doing and we'll get out of the way.
And none of that stops a regular dialogue from happening thereafter. These are all about the initiated moments. And when do those happen? Those only really happen in the now. Everything after that, you're not following. The textbook says I can say these words now. The textbook says I can say this next. It stops mostly after the moment of impact, after my response, after the manifestor's, recognition that they're going to have to say that they're going to inform. The thing is, it's the one that really gets chosen the most. You sort of have to implement it on yourself because technically you shouldn't have to do it. That's why it's an imposed strategy, whereas the other three are quite natural, like naturally occurring inside of us. So see that, experiment with it. Tell us what you think about it. Hit us back and see, oh my God, I do get angrier and angrier the more resistance I get. And you can go back and see that was the times you informed people the least. And then again, informing is all manner of how you might say or tell or even just give a hint. Maybe your idea of informing is giving a hint at first. It's vast. Play with it right up to the point of I'm doing this. Hey, I'll see you. Hey, I'll be back tomorrow. Whatever it is, the person will stop you if they want to say, hey, well, hold on, Kenya, and you'll stop. It'll be fine. But at least now they know. I want you to understand that if your aura is closed, it's closed to the other. They can't break through. No one can break through this. They just can't quite get in. The repelling is because it's closed. That closeness says there's a ball of energy in here. Imagine you sit down, you're outside, and suddenly you feel something next to you. Don't know, you can't get into it. You don't know what it is. That's scary by nature, just because we touched. When the auras touch, it's the same thing. It's energetic. It comes into us. We absolutely perceive this at this beautiful unconscious level, and it registers as discomfort for the rest of us. So, manifestors, witness. We're sitting around helplessly discomfortable, not understanding why. You can even announce if you know you're a manifester and say, well, no, actually, that's my aura. Notice sometimes you feel like you just sat down next to something and I just pulled it away and you don't know what that was. Right? If you sat down and something you're like, I felt something and then it moved and it left, you'd be spooked about that, even though it left. It'd be like, is it coming back? What is it? What happened? That's what your aura does to people because it nudges them, like Moni said. It can bump into the people and it's designed to manifest, it's designed to repel that resistance. See that as your tool because the peeps in your tribe, they like that about you. And we all appreciate that about you, generally speaking. You're only 9%. There's a reason for that. The world can only take so much impact. However,
Ma
well, just manifestors right now, the amount of manifestors making the proper impact is still, I imagine, relatively low. So
yeah.
now's your chance.
Yeah, a good manifester is magic. Like
Mhm.
absolute magic, like a good manifester. I am a projector. If I try to make things happen, if I try to
It's
push
everything.
things into the world, it's the pushing things into the world. I could do my own thing. I can study my own stuff. I can make my own stuff pretty. I could do my own little nerdery. But if I try to make something happen or push it into the world, my being, my aura, my field, whatever you call it, like I crumble into myself and collapse. I cannot push things into the world. I am an aura focused projector that is eating everyone around me. And if I try to make things happen, like I collapse like a crinkled can or a piece of paper. I collapse. But if I have my manifester do it for me, it's like smooth sailing. Like you said, it's like the boat just cutting into the water, and now I could like follow behind in the wake. And it's the
The plows,
smoothest, simplest thing.
the
Yeah.
plows when it snows. Boom, get behind them, man.
That's the best place to be. So it's like the good
Totally.
manifestors that, inform us when you're going to impact us. And it's our job to inform them too. Because manifestors, if we don't inform them, they don't know what's going on and they get all batty and crazy and it's not fun for them. So inform your manifestors, let them know what's going on in just declarative statements. Because it even feels funny to us. Like, why should I tell you that? But just tell them the stuff that will have an influence on them, and it's just so much easier
And
for
watch,
everyone. Yeah.
and watch how, oh, this makes peace in my life more attainable. This makes my way a little bit easier. This makes my way a lot easier. This is uncomfortable at first. I can't tell what am I supposed to do. Recognize that as the conditioning. It's like you've been trained away from your nature for so long that it even seems weird. It should be easy after a little while is what the real truth is. So informing people drops the resistance and fixes up your way, fixes up your movement, your momentum. Really, you guys are the momentum makers. Well, yeah, you started.
They start it, yeah. And also it's
Mhm.
like be gentle and loving to your manifestors because like the way a manifestor's aura feels is like they have spiky armor that is pushing me away. And there can be like an annoyance with that of like, why are you knocking into me? It can be really agitating to be on the receiving end, but they don't even realize that they have that aura. And they are like the squishiest little, like little hermit crabs. Like they got their little shell around them, but on the inside, they're all squished and they're so sensitive and they
Good
end up
point,
feeling,
Bonnie.
yeah, thanks. They end up feeling so bad because their aura pushes people away, and then people are weird to them. And then they're like, why are you being weird to me? And then they do make themselves small and they end up feeling really like kind of sad. And then they end up acting like fake projectors, like a bad projector, where it's like they want the invitation, but they're manifestors, so they're not going to get it. But then they don't push themselves out there and inform. And it becomes this whole mess of a thing. So manifestors, we want you big. Just let us know if you're going to smash into us. Like that's really big. Like if you're going to
Mm.
be big, then you have to make sure you're informing us of how that wake is going to knock me over. That's the deal. You be big, let me know so I can move out of the way. And also, be loving with your manifestors and let them know that you do love them because they probably feel like they don't have that enough or they want some more of that because they tend to push the people away.
Yeah, manifestor peeps receive that stuff. You can even sort of ask for it. It's a thing that all by itself will make a good impact, just so you know. And you'll see a lot more of how that travels back and forth. This is a beautiful talk on the aura and the strategy, I think.
Absolutely. You feel good on manifestors?
Hmm.
Awesome. So we are going to continue on to our pure generator types. We're also going to go into manifesting generators on the next slide. But first off, we're just going to talk the pure generator, which they comprise of 33% of the population. Generators have a defined sacral. So on our little graphic, this red square is colored in red. That will make either a generator or a manifesting generator. So a pure generator has the sacral defined, but they don't have a motor to the throat. So the will is a motor, the sacral is a motor, root, and solar plexus. So any of those four, right? So because they don't have that, they're a pure generator.
Hmm.
Generators are here to work and provide life force energy that operates in a response, and they have an embracing and an enveloping aura.
Yeah, that embracing is it just invites everything in. It invites everything in. In geomechanics, there's that thing called a sinkhole. They use it for all kinds of stuff. Hey, the football field's too wet, and an engineer will come in and make a 4 foot shallow thing, and it will stretch the earth towards it and pull the water off the field. That's the generator aura. The stuff is always being pulled in. You can envision what I'm saying, right? It was clear enough.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so it's always pulling it in. This aura, though, it's dynamic. It's like the picture shows. The picture shows a certain dynamic thing, like it's buzzing with energy. It is. And it's that buzz with that sacral energy specifically. It's called life force energy for the planet because the sacral is what makes the babies and protects them first. And so it's both energetic and it's open and enveloping. It envelops whatever walks by, just touches it. Like, try pouring honey on your counter in a bunch of different places and then try walking by and having it not get on your shirt and then on your elbow a little bit. Now you get one dot of honey on you. You got it all
It's
day
like
long.
glitter.
Yeah, glitter. Stop the
Glitter.
glitter. No, you can't. Right.
It's just
So
pulling it in, and it will
it's
always do find it on you.
pulling it in. And so we're attracting it because of our existence. As it nears, we pull it in like the water on the field or a slow docking. It's very much like large ocean vessels, Queen Mary size and bigger. As they get close to the dock, there's enough gravity between these two masses that actually makes an appreciable difference. You can't come up to the dock and stop 2 feet from it. You're going to hit it no matter what.
Mhm.
There's a little pull. So it's very much like that. And it pulls people in. It's a beautiful thing, and it demands one strategy in order to survive and be yourself if you're going to be a generator. It demands the one strategy of you now have to wait, my child, like a little Buddha on the side of the innocently await your body's response because this aura projecting out like nice and far, it's palpable. People want to fall into it. You'll see, just go someplace, sit down and shut up and say nothing, and people will generally come near you somehow. Well, someone will come into your orbit. And as it happens, you now have something to respond to. And that's it. Now that sounds too simple. Every time I say it, it's like, what do you mean? I just respond? Just respond? Not with your mind. It's an energetic feeling that you feel in your body as it relates to it's a chemistry. The sacral acts as a diaphragm. Anything that comes to it, it has an answer to spit back immediately. It moves with the chemistry in your body, so it's moving at the speed of chemical electricity to make those impulses take place. That means it's fast. And that response is simply energy apply, yes, energy withdrawal, yes, whatever it is. I'm either giving my energy or I don't give my energy to that. And that's all it is. Sacral just says, oh, yeah, energy. And it feels good. Oh, yeah, no, no, no. I don't know. I can't. I don't know. Maybe not. No, 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 hell no. Whatever it is, anything other than yeah is no, essentially, or not so much. And it's just not going to happen. And it creates this giant drag on the generator. And suddenly they don't really want to do it. And their energy runs at 50% half mass. It runs below its peak high energy, like psyched about something. And they just have to see, oh, I have psyched energy and then everything else. And I noticed that I absolutely can steer that psyched energy if I wait to respond to things. More truth comes out of me. And then suddenly a good generator will start to play with that experiment and recognize, oh my God, if I literally just wait and surrender to this thing that truly is inside me, it's that red sacral box there. And as that thing, anything comes in on it, it's got an immediate response to that thing. Phone called, I don't know, bird chirped, I heard it, whatever. Dog barked, I witness. We're doing something, go do something, thought comes through, yeah, I should. And then up you go. You knock on the door, there you go. We're talking in a conversation. It's permanently, they said something, I said something back. I said something, they said something, I said something back. It's a constant awaiting a responsive moment to physically let your truth out. And you have to learn to trust that or you won't do it. That's part of the experiment. Is be like, it literally gives it to me moment by moment, just like the spleen. But unlike the spleen, this is an energy moment by moment. The spleen is an awareness moment by moment. And this energy guarantees that you're in tune with what your body is aware of that you should be doing right now. Very often it's doing not whatever the thing is that's coming in to respond to. You've got to see that. Every time you've ever said yes when you meant no as a generator, doesn't matter what the configuration is. You got that sacral, you said yes too many times when you should have said no, just period. And there you are schlepping away and your energy isn't there and you become a quitter and then that quitter label starts to go with you and all that good stuff because your aura pulled it in. It's magnetic. It extends out, people fall into it, and you fall into them because of it. And you switch all your information, and suddenly they want your energy. They ask you for something, and the next thing you know, okay, yes, or yes, a little bit, and you don't want to. That's a good time to really notice that, oh my God, I had a responsive truth. And I could see it by simply measuring the energy that's taking place as I now start to move towards the thing I just said yes to. It's so immediate. It's like, yeah, okay. And as soon as you say okay to somebody, just watch the energy you get up with in that very second. Oh, it's really, this is a duty. Yes. I said it because I feel a duty. It's not true. It's not what I really want to do right now. And then you start to see it more and more. It doesn't mean don't do the thing, by the way. That person might really need you to do the thing or something. Okay. But you start to see it so that you can see, oh my God, if I wait for this thing, it tells me what's going to be best for me. If you want to be led to the right love, to the right job, to the right house, to the right place, at the right time, listen to sacral. It constantly guides you as if it's almost mystical. It's like the little voice that doesn't speak but it grunts and it goes, uh-huh. And it makes sounds and sighs and all kinds of noises. And it's ready in a moment as a life force to provide total operational energy support, just like in a moment's notice, because the response was, yeah. And suddenly you're moving. Recognize you're always waiting to move. I learned to play tennis. Da, 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 great. Okay. Do you like it? I can't tell yet. An hour later, they're still hitting the ball, hitting the ball. Well, um, their mind does not need to tell them if they like doing that. They're hitting the ball. It's a sacral act. It's with anything. I'm riding my bike. I'm doing my thing. Me this summer, I'm digging the holes. I'm digging the holes. I'm digging the holes to garden and a lot of it. Whatever it is, it's a thing. And this awaiting to respond is a choice to say, I will surrender to the little inner Buddha, the knowledgeable, connected to everything inner Buddha called my sacral. I will surrender to it and wait that extra half second to a second in order to wait to respond rather than to initiate up front. That's what that's saying. I will await the Buddha inside of me, and it really is there, this thing that responds with energy. Um, phasers on full energy. That's what it's got. Await. Look at it like a screw. You screw it all the way in, but the directions for a generator say, now that it's snug, back it off 1/2 turn. And that's all you've done. Just back it off 1/2 turn.
Yeah, I like to think of the like generator as the magic 8 ball, especially if like pure sacral response without like an emotional definition. You're a magic 8 ball. Like yes, no, ask again later.
Right,
It's really quite that immediately simple where the generators are pulling everything towards them. It's like a vortex, it's a whirlwind where everything is coming towards that generator. Be like, yep, nope, and just let your sacral be your guide, you know,
right.
and
Just and you know what, Moni, that's great because the quick thing. Look back at any point in time where things were moving a little bit quickly. You're at the supermarket and you're running late. You're just picking things. Your sacral's doing a lot of that work, and then your mind is doing a lot of work. And as you're walking through that thing, some things go into the cart easily, sacral. Some things mind, because you wasted another 30 seconds and you're late for something. Just watch. Sacral will be like, yeah, and it'll want to get out of there. And mind is like tortured and toiled and slow and resistance-full. Mind means just this concept factory that thinks and speaks, that we speak through, that we think is us. The thing that we need to now remember and know is us is that thing that our little 4-year-old and 5-year-old version of ourselves knew full well. As a generator, I got this thing that the second the stimuli in my environment lights me up, I am in motion and I have energy, good, clean energy. And if you live that way and start living that way, you're going to live a long time, finally, without being sick and all that. It's amazing.
yeah, it's like when that sacral responds with a, yup, I have the energy for this, it's like a fire hose that's just continually renewing. Like there's not like an end of the bucket kind of situation. Like the willpower, we can will, and then we got to go rest and wait for that bucket to fill back up again. But a sacral that's responding, yes, that it has the energy, it's this continuous life force energy that's going to flow out of this person. That's quite remarkable. As an undefined sacral kind of gal, like the defined sacrals are like so impressive and so magical. It's just very awe-inspiring of like when a generator is living correct to their sacral response. There's such a vitality, there's a brightness, the energy feels clean. Like it's the difference between being near like the most like well taken care of like Ferrari or Lamborghini or some whatever fancy sports car that's like taken care of and the oil's clean and it's changed and it details and it's just purring, compared to the defined sacral that doesn't know that it's a generator, that's totally not self, that's stuck working the jobs it doesn't like and is just begrudgingly either initiating or just forcing trying to work at something they hate, and it just feels like the most rundown old jalopy that hasn't had an oil change in like 20
And it
years
not
and
only does
everything's
that,
cranky. Yeah.
yeah, it feels so ungood that it actually starts to lean into, start to create inside of you unease. And you know where I'm about to go. It becomes the mild, because generators tend to generate past most actual disease at first, but it's the beginning, and you start to see it dis-ease. It's like,
An
and suddenly,
unease.
starting with unease, and you can't get the right job, and you can't be in the right place, and the things just don't feel good. And then you start to wonder why, and your life feels not quite the same. And it's so hard to imagine that if I just reorient myself 1/2 turn back behind the sacral and get behind it, await its response so I can witness it. I've got a mind, I can see, I can enter an experiment where I'm willing to wait for a moment, watch, and see how that feels each time, and recognize that it does recognize the energy. The waiting is simply just like a good card player waits that extra second before he doesn't show his before he shows his poker face, or however that's going to work for him. It's just a wait. It's actually a sophisticated thing when you can see it. You just wait that extra second, and sacral says energy yes, and you'll see it. Oh my God, yes. And you'll start to see it changes all your decision making. All the yeses you used to say turn into, not so much yeses, and you find ways to make it so you don't even have to answer a yes question in certain things. It's basically, it makes your life start to get easier, and your energy starts to do the things that you really feel like doing, which will be some creative pursuit that uses your energy. And of all the types, the generator and or the manifesting generator are the most supposed to sit there like a little worm wriggling all the time. You know what I mean? We're not supposed to really stop. We're a little baby that won't stop putting its fist in its mouth. At the same time, we're grown ass adults. It's just true. We got energy. That's a thing. Wash some dishes, get the thing. It's just, and it doesn't tire us out. We're all of that motion that we do, fidgeting and moving around as energy. That's waiting to have something light it up. We're going to go build a fort now. Yeah. Okay. Now off we go. It's like you're grown adults. I know, but dude, this is doing something. I'm psyched. Let's do this. I'm with my friends. We're drinking some beers. Now it's great. That type of thing. Anything was better than what we're generally offered as generators, mostly, on this plane currently. So you got to get into the experiment and recognize that it's so good. Just one half turn back. It's scary because you have to not choose to act. You have to wait to act, and they are different.
Yeah, and on the opposite side of if you have generators in your life, like help them with their sacral response. Ask them simple yes no questions. Like allow them to practice listening to that, Do you want an apple? You want a banana? You want an orange? You want to go see a movie? Like don't say it that quick. Give them time to
Right.
respond with it. But, help them tune into that response so they can live correctly as themselves. And also especially for my projectors, like let your generators respond to things away from your focus a little bit because we get a little too greedy with this generator energy. And
Interesting. Yeah,
yeah,
I can see that.
yeah, because generators, it's like I used to, like in my early human design days before I knew it all, like not at all, but before I was more versed in it, I would love hanging out with like generators, but then I'd get sad because they'd go respond to go do something. And it's like two projectors can just sit and talk and we just focus, 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 focus and go ever deeper. And I'd get sad because then the generator's energy like wouldn't be on me. It wouldn't be focused in what I expected from my own
Right,
energy. Like,
right,
don't
right.
get mad when generators got to go respond to go do something. They're going to get antsy that sacral wants to put life force energy into something.
How
So,
often did your kid want to sit still when they're 4 years old? Answer that question, and you got the same answer as a grown adult, no matter what the age, as long as you still draw breath and aren't like totally invalid with all your bones broken or something. Even then, you still need to move. Your eyes will be darting. Your brain will be. Yeah, we can't help it. We're not supposed to. Couple things. Signature. The signature is satisfaction. And it's hard to measure sometimes because satisfaction doesn't sound like, oh, crazy, sad, yeah, joy, wicked coolness. But that's what it's supposed to be. The satisfaction is this is wicked cool. That's satisfying. Not just satisfying like, the drink was cold, good, I'm satisfied.
no, it's a deeper sense of satisfaction
Much,
of I
much.
have this beautiful energy that wants to build the world and I got to build something really cool and I got to use that energy well and now I just feel purely satisfied. Like,
We generators are builders. We're here to build things and very much with our hands and with our mind and moving things around. We're here to move things. Our bodies are here to physically move. We're the ones that are supposed to be, whatever the thing is as it relates to raising the barn. We're supposed to be right there. That's our place. And we're not happy if we're not, is the thing. Next thing about generator, just so that signature satisfaction, obviously, when it's not there, turns into frustration. And that frustration waffles between, and it's more so in the Manny gen, which we'll do next, but it's still in generator. You got to leave anger in for generators. You got to leave it because if the frustration builds up too much, the blow up is absolutely seen as anger and it's experienced as anger. The thing is, it's not real anger because anger is truly angry at something. The manifestor understands what they're angry at. We're angered of frustration in a way that we're just waiting to release it. It's
Are you
not
talking about
quite
the
an anger at something as much as it is a need to release that really looks like anger, and it does act like it exactly. It's an exact clone of anger, but that it dissipates.
Are you talking about man gens though? We're talking about pure generators and just frustration.
Both, all sacrals will have it, and I pointed out Manigens much more. It's an actual feature we'll give to them, but this guy right here still will experience it throughout their life. At times, sometimes, usually they will, because frustration, when it gets too high, it needs to blow off. It's a bomb
Yeah.
at that point.
It's like a rattling pot lid on the pasta
Yes,
that's like doing this and it's frustrated and it's frustrated and then finally it spills over.
just spills up, and the frustration's even more because I got to clean it up and but it does dissipate. It wants to dissipate. In fact, it can't even hold that level for very long. It's dying to dissipate and turn back into satisfaction. That's what it's dying to do. The last one in your life who truly knew how to convert one back to the other easily was your 4 and 5 year old self. The 6, 7, 3.5, whatever, right in that little kid range. They did it just fine. They did it just fine. And that's that's true for you too as well. Next thing, question. Generator's got a question, right? I mean, I didn't even really do the manifestor question because theirs is what's my impact, but they forget to even ask it, you know. Um, but we just don't say it out loud. The question for the generator is, who am I? It demands self-absorption. And it has to, because our only defense in the world is to be silent in an active state of awareness, like a little Buddha awaiting what we respond rather than initiating what we think we're going to do. I think I'm going to do this. I initiate. No good. I think, therefore I'm not. Is really how that statement goes for a generator. Remember the statement was, I think, therefore I am. I forgot what that was from, but it's really,
Voltaire,
I think, therefore I'm not, like being my truthful self.
Descartes.
Man, that was wow, that goes back. And so this is, I await to see who I am. I await to see who I am. Who am I? I await to see who I am. And that becomes the generator mantra. And same with the Manigen too. Manigen, same as generator. We just got some quirks that are totally different, and it sort of separates us. We got these two things: pure generators, Manigens. We'll do them next, but the signature question also stays the same. Who am I? Who am I? It's just with us on Manigens, we skip steps on the way to that. um, what else, Moni? That signature of who am I? It demands that you look inward, and so generators will selfishly leave you, Moni. But can we
Yes.
really call it selfish? We can't, right? They keep going away.
They
They need to go away.
they need to go respond to go do something. They're not built to sit there like two projectors that are going to go endlessly deep. Like that sacral is going to want to go build something and so it's annoying and it sucks and it kind of hurts and makes me sad, but like you get used to it.
Because it's not personal,
Hmm.
and it always comes back, just like any other relationship and all thing. It was never gone for long, right? Generators and Manigens both, but generators need their familiarity. They need their foundations. We're naked. We don't get to know a dang thing until we've oriented ourselves as waiting to respond. We don't get to see what that truth is until it is allowed out as a response to something. So, and that's a scary place. Well, dude, what are you going to do tomorrow at this moment about this thing? And I'll have to wait and respond and see what actually happens. You know what I mean? Some things you can plan out. Don't get me wrong. What are you going to do with the DMV when they ask you for your driver's license? Well, dude, I'm going to give them my driver's license. Okay, I don't need to. I guess I can figure that one out in advance. But the rest of life, that's new decision making on, as ourselves in the now, is behind a response. Answering this question, who am I? It's always there, and it makes the generator unavailable a certain portion of the time throughout their life. Just recognize the last thing I want to say. The motors, all the motors are designed to turn off and turn on. And the sacral is the only one that's designed to turn off only as a function of degenerating into sleep, awaiting to regenerate awake the next morning at some point. That's it. ever the rest of the time. Even when you're dead tired in the middle of the day, it's because something wasn't right, or you use your energy so good you're down. Guess what? You're down only because of tiredness, because you totally did something. And guess how long you're down for? Not long, not long. And guess who gets a second win no matter what? The generator. If their responsive thing is there, it doesn't matter. And it could get unhealthy if you live it out too unhealthy and don't get any good sleep. I get that. But just realize you're meant to plow through whatever. That box has no natural limitation beyond not being satisfied and needing to go to sleep. That's it. So,
Feel good about the generator? Can we
yeah,
dive into man gen?
let's do that. This will go
Awesome.
quicker because I covered a bunch of things.
Yeah, you got a lot of sacral info on this one. So, continuing on to manifesting generators, which comprise of 37% of the population. So, manifesting generators have a defined sacral and a motor to the throat. So, we have the red sacral square, it's defined, and the 3420 is the pure manifesting generator channel. It could also have, either the root solar plexus or will also making their way to the throat, but the 3420 is the pure manifesting generator, which is why I chose that for the graphic. And so the manifesting generator is a generator with manifesting capabilities. They are the Buddha warrior who operates, makes decisions through response, then moves into action quickly. And they have an embracing and an enveloping aura, just like a pure generator.
Yeah, and so all the stuff I said about the pure generator, it remains true about the aura, the question, the waiting to respond. But for the manifesting generator, now the waiting to respond thing is even harder, and they get conditioned further because they're so used to thinking they can jump into action and follow the conditioning of the planet that says, I'm a manifester. Everyone wants to initiate and do. No one wants to have to wait. That's the conditioning. Is that a fair statement? I think it is.
Yeah, it absolutely is. Everyone wants to do it on their time and not on God's time. Like we
Mm-hmm.
all think that we have the arrogance to know what and how and when and the space-time continuum should interact. And it's difficult for all of the types. Even manifestors have to wait until it's right for them to do the thing.
Right,
Like
right.
everyone's got to wait to some capacity. It's just learning our own specific strategies and how we function in the world.
And so for the manifesting generator, it's really tune into the inner Buddha because you've been looking for such a place of peace anyways, to allow yourself to physically sit back, allow the stimuli to come in. It doesn't matter what it is. It could include your own boredom that gets you up moving. Just wait until it's a response that moves you rather than a mental decision to go do something. And you'll start to see over and over one feels better than the other. It doesn't mean mind does not aid and abet the manifesting generator. Of course it does. We need mind a lot to help measure because we move too quick. We already miss steps. If there was no mind, we'd miss all the steps. Um, Basically, that's the only thing that saves us half the time. A little with limitation. It'll never make the decision for us. Mind cannot decide. It is not an inner authority. It is an outer authority. But the manifesting generator, unlike the pure generator that's designed to grab onto a thing and stay with it in a more even keeled way, it can be referred to as going level by level through something that you're into and you're gaining mastery on. We generators, we gain mastery on things like a thing and we sort of get into it. Next thing you know, we have a thing we do. When we get into projectors next, they have lots of things they do. um, but we have this thing we do, and so many gens are gonna skip steps on their way to getting through that and be reckless. What appears to be reckless when it's not. It's just a way. It's just a way, and the less they can get scolded for that, the better. It doesn't mean you don't show them that what you think might be a pitfall. It means don't put any kind of expectation on them or let them feel any kind of negative energy if they don't listen to you exactly. They can't. They're on their way to generate where their unique response, where their mental cognition is first and foremost focused in on who am I? How can they possibly totally internalize what you would like them to answer as who am I as it relates to advice you give a generator? It doesn't mean don't give the advice. There's things. We live in a material world. Lots of advice is totally welcome. I'm just saying, recognize there's all these limitations because we're waiting to respond to something. We don't even get to know in advance. And for this one, as a manager, the anger that will come in, mirroring that of the manifestor a little bit, is so sudden and sharp, and it is born from the same frustration. They can't get the thing. You can't make it work. The people won't say the words. They won't get back to you. You can't open the dang packaging. Well, that's one. I mean, that's one that I've seen over and over in my life. I know it's there for every manager in somehow, way, shape, or form. That archetype of, for me, an archetype of an example. Suddenly, it's everywhere, and I get none of it.
And it
And
cut
it's
your hand open.
and it cut my hand. You're right. Yes, plenty of yes, that too. Thank you, Moni. Um, it's that frustration that looks like it's almost enraged,
It's like
but
a
the thing is,
Tasmanian devil.
but it stops with near the same time it took to go up because the generator is not meant to sustain frustration. We're just not. The box says, "All right, it's over. I don't really feel like spending my energy hating that thing. Just boil back down to frustration because you got to
It's
clean it up and stuff."
it's the pot lid that's boiling over and it's frustrated and it's rattling and then it boils over and then the water is out and it kind of
And
chills
then,
out.
yeah, you're right. That's exactly how that works. Yes, yes. And this can take
Yay.
place over 10 minutes, over an hour. Usually, I got to tell you, very often, the more you tune into your strategy, it'll take place in just over the course of a minute and a half or 30 seconds, even just short time frames. The more you see it, you just got to look at it and realize you like to go fast. And we're builders too. And if we were to put a difference between us, it would be the generators would be builders and we would be express builders. And so if you put us together as teams, one's getting the thing up and the foundations rolling, and the other one is getting all the forms ready and putting the freaking trusses up and doing the thing over here and making sure the loads are showing up and sort of even more stuff, where more stuff can go wrong, by the way. So biggest thing, if you're a manifesting generator, you have to extra wait to respond and play with this thing so you can see how fast that responsive mechanism works for you and how much it will sustain day in and day out at whatever the thing is that lights it up. And that's for regular generators too. Experiment with it. Recognize the same aura just pulls people in. Everything gets pulled in. You almost seem charismatic because it seems like, wow, this guy's busy, but it's busy for yourself first. Just recognize that it's supposed to be that way. And you're only supposed to do things that light you up and make you feel good, all day. So don't let that fall away. Don't let that be something you don't hear and see because it's in you. I wait to respond. I wait to see exactly what is it that's coming in on me. And now I can go do. I would like to go do, so I await my moment of response. Hey, Dan, you're bored? Yeah, what are you doing? I'm awaiting my moment of response so I can go do.
Yeah, that waiting to respond as that baseline. And then once you respond, then they can like initiate and make things happen. And with that, maybe even practice that manifestor strategy of informing. Like,
Yeah,
because like manifesting generators, like you're here to be a bouncy ball. I super get that, but can you let me know if you're gonna go bouncing through my bedroom? Kind of thing.
right, right.
It's that same thing where it's like super sensitive projector. Like I realize I am overly sensitive, which is my issue to deal with. And also realize that your energy affects other people, you know? Like whether the manifestors with the straight impact or even the manifesting generators, where it is this like Super Bowl Tasmanian devil thing, which is like, cool, you're doing your thing. I'm going to stand a few feet away. So even practicing a little bit of that, like, hey, maybe inform people if your manifesting side of your generator is going to be impacting people.
Mm, love it. That's exactly right. That's exactly right. You can let them know. But don't forget, you're not going to let them know before it's a response. You have to be in motion first. And so consider it short notice every time. You don't get to give notice, you get to give short notice. And how short? Well, you're already doing, so it's pretty short notice. Um, yeah. Yeah.
So give us your short-term notice when you're going to be
Well,
on
that's
the
all we
manifesting
have,
side.
is
No, I
right?
know.
That's all there is.
I'm happy for it. Just let me know and I'll get out of the
Let me
way.
know. Let me know. Right. Right.
Perfect. Any other final thoughts? You good on the
No,
manifesting
I think
generator?
we got through all of it. We got through all of it. Yeah.
Awesome. So, continuing on to our projectors, who comprise of 22% of the population. Projectors have a no defined sacral and no motor to the throat. So, projectors are our most varied type. So, first off, we're going to see that the sacral center is white, so the sacral is undefined, and no motor makes it to the throat. And so, projectors, when invited, based on the recognition of their specific skills and frequency, can act as a guide, and they have a focused and penetrating order.
Yeah. This what you're seeing here is everything but the manifested and generated channels defined, which means they're all projected channels. Most people have projected channels in their body graph, somewhere, one or two. I've got two. Most people aren't, but most people aren't a projector. Being 22%, you'll see that this aura, this picture here is so exactly what happens. Notice the line of sight is following the aura, and where the projector physically looks, or at least aims their sensory perception, whatever that might be, that's pretty much where your penetrating capacity comes from and where it follows the trajectory of your eyes, as if you got a little sword out in front of you that you can remote control. It's kind of cool. Rapid eye movement, remote control projector aura, right? It's pretty cool. And the thing is, this invitation, this comes through this focused and penetrating aura, meaning each time it goes into the other person, you start to ask this existential question. Manifestor, what's my impact? Generator, who am I? Projector, who are you? What are you all about? What's that one all about? Who's that guy? What are they? Who is that person? And primarily, who are you? Because that's who you're talking to. This aura is meant to do the same thing all the other auras do, extend out from your body, communicate what your definition is, one way, shape, or form. Least of all, the manifestor, it communicates the least, but it still does. um, and communicate all of that stuff and touch the other person and physically go into them right about into here where gate 2 of the G center is. It's meant to literally penetrate into the home of the monopole and enter the identity of the other's sense of their own self, their love of themselves, their identity that they're traveling around, living out in a direction. That thing, it penetrates right into the center, the G center, the yellow diamond in the center of your body graph. Um, and it sort of tractor beams that other person, and now they're in it with you. You can't miss it. Projectors, they end up missing it though, because that has an amount of time, right? There's a time limit. There's a time limit that you get to apply the tractor beam. It's like the mooring lines. There's a time limit. Boat's got to go back out now, catch some more fish. um And as this aura goes out and starts to penetrate, the more the projector starts to see that, the more they can really tune in and enjoy their strategy. I keep saying strategy is a function of the aura. Aura is a function of the strategy. Aura is cleaned by the strategy, and the strategy is a function of the aura. Is the correct way to say that. I wait for the invitation. I wait for the recognition. I wait for the sense that I'm actually welcome. Oh no, I'm welcome here. Okay, cool. That, like, I'm welcome. You hop onto a bulletin board and someone's like, I need to crochet a knot here, and now you're invited. Oh yeah, hey, you do it this way. And in the moment you answer that question, I answer those questions as a generator sometimes. Me, I'm just generating my own joy, and my answering of myself is, oh, I'm great doing this. I love this, and I did it with energy. Yours is more sophisticated. You're like, oh, look at that. I have a new connection. I feel a little bit of success, of opportunity, of relationship of some sort, and success of acquisition, of recognition and understanding by the other, success and accomplishment in mastering now and being involved in a new little system. Every time one human being speaks to another, they're developing a system of something. It can be really like nothing at all that's going to go anywhere, but something is happening. There's a new possibility of something that's going to be worth looking at, that touches the sophisticated projector way. A projector and a generator could have very similar strategies in a way. Waiting for the invitation sounds a lot like waiting for a response, but ours simply is a hey, on off with a light bulb energy, on off with a motor. That's it. Yours is, well, I have motors or not. I have plenty of energy in my body. I can do plenty of things, but it's sophisticated and a step. It's like a level up from the generator. Actually, it's a bunch of levels up from the generator. Um, and it's what's it doing, Moni? It's awaiting this moment to feel all the things I was just describing. That's what it wants. And it's a whole full sensory body perception after you recognize it and see it. You guys become the recognizers. You are the steerers of the ship. Your form is new from 1781. Wasn't here before that. Think about that while you're at it. That's a pretty big deal. And this guidance, you're here as guides to guide the rest of the people by virtue of that aura penetrating the generators primarily, and the generators then forcing their own selves to ask, who am I? And getting to that answer a little bit quicker so they can be themselves. And the generators and the projectors can envelop and involve themselves in the auric field, in the generated enveloping field. The world is a generated enveloped field because we dominate the plane. So that's what we work with. And that's what you guys penetrate. And that penetration says, that guy recognizes me on a scale of 1 to 10, about 2. That one's about an 8. This one is on and off. Sometimes they're 10, sometimes they're 2. This one's mean. It's about making your checklist of how people respect you in any one way, and you make up the values of that respect. You make up what that is. You look at that, and that's a system you master and you get into. And unlike the generator that masters things, level by level or by skipping around and getting there, that's only ever one thing or one and a half things. You guys are like a little of this and a little of that and some more of this, and I'll focus more on one thing, but it's always the next thing. Oh, that's how that works. Oh, you get good at that. Oh, every time that guy picks his numbers, he does it this one way. Now you get good at that. It's little things that the generators miss over and over again. We don't care. That's not who am I. That's not who I am. That next thing. I'm this thing where my energy is. So in a way, the generator strategy is almost like dumb as rocks compared to what the projector strategy is. Awaiting the invitation, it blossoms up into this language of so many things. I just said everything I could think of to say. That becomes quite sophisticated that you can easily see, oh, that's a lot. Yeah, I can see how I should be recognized. A person nodded across the room. Okay, I'll talk to that one. Rather than, oh, I see that person across the room I want to talk to, and I'm going to go up and talk to them. One was invited, one wasn't. Simple from a nod or look, that's okay. A formal invitation. Dude, will you come? I'd like to invite you to my Tupperware party. I'm sure I'm dating myself. Um, I have to be dating myself with that one. But you know what I'm saying. I want to invite you to my thing. I want to da all these things. I see you. And then you can start to see, are they seeing you for you? And that's how you get there. Await the invitation. What do you think, Moni?
Yeah, I mean, it's my strategy, and it's one of those that's it's a nice sounding one, but it's also like easier said than done at times, especially because projectors by our nature, we see the things people need before they know they need them. And in thinking that like we're going to be helpful and we'll start jumping in and trying to offer this advice, and it's not right yet and they don't want it and it's not the correct time, they're not going to hear it, they're going to be repelled by us, it's not going to feel good, and then we're going to feel bad because like I'm trying to help you and I'm trying to like help you out with this thing and give you this blah, 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 and then we get bitter.
Mm,
Like that is the nature of the projector because we are an odd type and nobody tells a projector that they're a projector generally. Maybe if you're lucky and like your parents were hip and cool and knew to tell you you're a projector, but for the rest of us, there's this really deep aching inside because we see these ways to help and we just want to offer that. We just want to offer our guidance, but it's not the right time. It's not the right time. They can't hear it, they can't receive it, they can't take it in, like it will literally sound like gibberish and be like an annoying thing of like, even if they know that we give good advice, they're still going to be irritated that we are unsolicitedly putting it into them, because even if you look at our graphic, it's like this pointy aura, we're going inside of people, like Danny so poetically expressed, like we are going right into somebody's identity center and who are they, and we don't even realize it. Like we don't realize that we are peering through like x-ray specs and somebody's like in their underwear. Like we don't
Mm,
even realize it because it's just the way it's the same as looking at my own hand. Like it is just in front of my face. How could I not see the lines on my hand? They're just right there. And that's what it feels like when we're around people and we can see so much. We can see too much and it can get really weird. And this can go from just, oh, I just want to help somebody because they're doing this thing and they're struggling and I just want to help. And why don't they want that help? To seeing people who are doing bad things, who maybe like, doing stuff to hurt other people, and then having trouble even being able to express that or warn somebody or tell somebody, and then even being seen as like a problem. I've seen this numerous times with myself and other projectors that I know is like we see too much and we want to help, and then we overload ourselves and kind of like freak out trying to help and explain it, and it just turns into a big chaotic mess.
mm. Indeed, it does. So, with all of this said, the last thing that we really didn't go over too terribly much, this hunt for success, and it can be a hunt. You get to actively look for it. You get to involve the mind. I would say, what do you think, Mon? The projector gets to involve the mind as it relates to their curiosity about where their hunt is going, right? Is that true?
Rephrase that question in a way that I can understand it.
The hunt for the opportunities and the moments of recognition and movement in that way. Don't you
What
look for them? Aren't you you're on the scout for them? There's a scouting that
I don't
goes
know if
on.
it's scouting, it things just kind of pop up and sparkle at me.
Okay.
Or people sparkle at me of like, "Well, this one's kind of special." Or maybe that, it's a fifth line projection that I'm seeing as well. But I think the projector's nature is that like systems mind, the patterns mind. We like knowing how things work. That's where I think we have that like desire and that curiosity and that drive is I want to know how things work. How are they interconnected? How does this affect this, which affects this, which affects this? And then you could do this and you build that. And like, I like knowing how the parts fit together. That's what I'm looking for. That's what I get excited about with the, invitations or opportunities. It's a dime a dozen. Everyone's doing stuff wrong everywhere. Like
Right.
any
Right.
projector can see a million things to be fixed in any room. And that's what makes it difficult because we see all the things that need to be fixed, but it's not our job to fix them.
Mm.
And that's where it can get a bit clunky.
Yep. Yep. I can totally see that. That I can entirely see that. Yeah,
We
so
also uh,
getting back to the going backwards then to the bitterness is what I was gonna hit. But what are you gonna say?
I was going to pop up a question because Friends with Audio
Oh,
showed up. So hello
no
again.
way.
Yeah, I know.
Goodness.
So they asked advice for deconditioning the urge to manifest as a projector.
Yeah, keep watching it. Doesn't that sounds passive, doesn't it? Sounds like as
Keep watching
unfulfilling as
it and don't do it.
right. Don't you do it. No. The watching it is in the experiment. You have to look straight at it and you have to keep doing that because each time you do it, new clues are given, and that clue gives you the energy of how the operation in you is wound up and conditioned in the first place. Because it's such a maniacally nuanced set of conditioning that went in the first place, it's like a very detailed, lots of scalpel, minute surgery. You need the glasses and you need some robotic arms to scalpel it out. It's not, hack off a limb and sew it up. It's really in-depth surgery you're doing. And so that's one. And number two is let me read this and see what comes out again. Advice for deconditioning the urge to manifest.
Because I
Start to
think Friends
notice
is,
that you don't get anywhere.
oh,
It never works. There's one for
it,
you.
it gets weird.
Yeah.
Or like for
Notice it
me, if
doesn't
I
feel
try,
good.
yeah, it doesn't feel good. And if I try to make something happen, if I try to push a thing into the world, my aura crumbles. Like I literally just kind of collapse in on myself and I can't make it happen. I noticed that very deeply. And the bitterness. It's like,
Yeah,
why can't I do the thing?
right.
Everyone else could do the thing. Why can't I do the thing? Like that bitterness doesn't feel good, but it's
Yeah, I got
so
one for
deep to get into.
I got one for you, and it's this will speak to the understanding circuitry that's here in humanity. We all have access to it, and so uh, understand this question to yourself. I'm in charge of the amount of bitterness that's going through me. So why am I going to keep doing the thing? And I see it and then start to put together, how can you answer the question honestly? Am I supposed to manifest this thing and go make this person do this thing because I saw something and I want to get something done a particular way? And the answer, as long as you're experimenting with it, will be you'll start to see, I can't answer that question in the affirmative. I can't. It's just more, that's why I started with seeing it. It seems too simple, but you got to keep seeing it so that you know what the heck it is. It's, you know, is there fire? And you're looking, is that fire? Is that fire? That happens over the course of like 8 minutes. Is that fire? I can't tell. I'm smelling it a little bit. Mushroom this out over the course of a day or a week or something, where you're recognizing that it's going to take more time to really keep seeing it a bunch of times to see that I'm seeing it. Is that fire? Is that fire? If you're even a little bit better, you have to look and say, I might not be able to tell I'm seeing for fire right now, but I did try to go make something happen and I'm pissed now. Oh my God, I told this person this thing. Well, I told them and now I'm pissed because they didn't listen.
They
They
didn't
asked me to
appreciate
tell,
me.
well, even they might have even asked them to tell me, I'm feeling a kind of way. Moni might say, Daniel, I'm going to clear some energy. I'll say, yeah, yeah, sure. It's so quick. And I sit there and I take it. Well, are you going to do the thing that I cleared? No, maybe. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Suddenly now she initiated because she wants. You didn't do that, by the way, at all. You never do that. But I'm saying that's what would happen. You're offering something to somebody, and then they have to give it to you back a very certain kind of way that you didn't express up front. There's no bargain in that yet. Just recognize the things you put on yourself by trying to initiate. Keep witnessing how it doesn't feel good. Keep witnessing how guaranteed chemistry called bitterness, not a mental construct, chemistry first, right? Chemistry first. Then the mind is thinking that. Like it's the mind is a total narcissistic, gaslighting, petty tyrant, total gaslighter. It's like, oh yeah, that's my idea. That bitterness. No, it's not. Sorry, bro. Right? It's like, oh, I'm the one who recognized that invitation. No, my chemistry felt the right chemistry of something that feels recognized and good. It felt good in it, and it got energy. It got energy to move. That recognition gives the energy to move, just like the sunshine. Look at this, the invitation, like the sunshine on Superman after he's faced kryptonite. That's what it is. It's a great analogy. And the kryptonite is the bitterness and the manifesting. So, advice for deconditioning your urge to manifest. Do you like sucking on kryptonite, Superman? And the answer is no. And so everything I just said, put it in that context.
That makes a lot of sense.
And come in for a reading, dude. Book a session. Because we'll get through your chart and do a bunch of things.
I got the QR code right above. The links are also down in the description box
Oh,
below.
good.
And then you can use code AWAKEN for 10% off if you're interested in booking a reading, and we can go super deep and have a lot of fun. Yeah, with projectors, it's just we can't push things into the world. We can't make other people do stuff. Like it's not in our nature, and we just kind of got to let it go, even if it can drive us mad and we can fall back into the bitterness and we can do it great for a while. Then something happens, we get really bitter again. Like it's just part of that experience. But yeah, realizing it's
You
just
can join the pushing.
when
Join together.
invited,
Yeah.
it's just like I try to just really focus on doing my own thing and mastering my systems and mastering my skills and learn some more patterns and do the stuff that I have my range of capability to.
And
And
energy to
then
do, and it feels good, and you don't even feel bitter as you use the energy out the day to do it, and then it uses down, and then you rest, and you get back up, and you use it up, and use it back down, and it's just fine. Not tons of bitterness. Is that true?
yeah, it's just do it when it feels good and try to not get caught up in the nonsense and just put your energy into mastering your own stuff. And then the people who are meant to invite you will, because it really is, they cannot hear us. They literally will hear gibberish or like Charlie Brown, like when the teacher talks, and it's like wah, 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 wah. You could be giving them like the winning lottery tickets, and they'll just hear it as like wah 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 wah. Like they
That's
cannot
true.
hear it, they cannot take it in, and it can be so annoying because it just feels like I have gold, I have brilliance to share, or this really cool thing that makes me really happy, and no one else can hear it. It's like when you read a book that changes your whole life and your worldview, and you
Mm.
finish the last page and you close that book and you look up thinking, surely there'll be somebody here who's in this with me who can appreciate it. And you look up and no one else is reading the book. Like no one knows anything else what the hell you're talking about, and you're going to sound crazy. So just focus on mastering your own stuff and putting your love into that which you enjoy and that feels good, and eventually the right people who do appreciate it will come around, but before that it's just a fool's errand to try to make it happen.
Await the invitation and the feeling of the invitation, and then recognize you become the great recognizer of all things manifested and generated. So,
Perfect. Ready, Mosey?
mhm. Read the thing. I got to go turn off a little tap water that's still running. I'll be
Okay,
right
I'll
back.
just bring you down. So next up, we have our reflectors, our special reflectors that make up only 1% of the population. So reflectors have no definition. So when you look at their chart, all the shapes are going to be white. They'll have different red and black hanging gates on different centers, but all the actual center shapes, these are all going to be white. And so reflectors are connected to the moon and to the lunar cycle, these month long 28, 29-day lunar cycles. They have the capacity to sense who is living authentically and who has been conditioned by the transit field, and their aura samples the environment.
And sample it does. Pulls in but holds at bay. Pulls in but holds at bay. It's this thing that says, um, I see you there, and like the manifester sort of holds at bay a little bit, but it's not actually fully resistant. I mean, it's not fully repelling. It's only resistant so that the thing can come up close enough for you to sample it. People have a hard time getting a hold of you in a particular kind of way, and that's correct for you. And when you realize that that's the aura you're putting out, and you start to see my strategy is not only to await a lunar cycle, but it's also to be in the right place. That's part of this strategy. You start to see, am I in the right place or not? It's also to recognize that you have people in your life to bounce at least something off of. That's part of your strategy. And it's to start to get to understand that the moon fills you in. You are not a creature of the solar return that is the rest of us. You're different, literally. You're of the lunar motion. You're lunar beings, like as a literal thing. You're human. Don't worry about it. I mean, we're all the same. I'm just saying that thing that gets you going, because by definition you have zero definition, and that means that you're open to the whole program. You become beings of the program. So it's not just await the lunar cycle, it's witness the program. So if you're a reflector, that means you have to dive in a little more, or in a particular kind of way, to just understand how, as the planets move above, and especially as that moon goes around us, it activates all of your gates on the other side. What do I mean by that? You have, anywhere from 18 to 20 activated gates in your body graph, hanging gates off of the various centers. Well, guess what? There's a gate on the other side of that that would create a whole channel if you had it. And the moon goes through all 64 gates every month, or every 29 days. And because of that, you get activated on all your spots where you can have definition. So one day you're emotional, the next day, you have this ego energy. So a couple days in a row, you got energy because you're a sacral being. All kinds of things show up that are different energies, and the sampling you do is the sampling of others as they come into your life. Healthy, not healthy. Is this good, not good? As it relates to, that they what you're reflecting back upon them, and you can sense that. And then sampling the transit field and yourself as it moves through you. This is subtle. You have to be willing to look and understand what that definition is. If I were to read for a reflector, I would try to take 2 sessions to get it done fully. and go through their gates and let them know what each thing means. So as they pull up the daily transit and see what is connecting them and where their moon is, they can know, oh, I see this energy in me. And then they can know they get to wait for it to pass. You get to experience it and then watch it leave. Again, part of the experiment for a reflector. Witness it coming in, witness it going out. And if you don't see the exact moment, just you'll always have an opportunity to look back. You can always look back, oh God, today I was totally something. And then you look in the transit field and there's that something that you were totally today. So you don't have to see it going in, you just have to see that it was there. Await the lunar cycle. Strategy. Big decision, you take a month. And I'm sorry, take a month. Big decisions. As they get smaller, you take fractions of that month. And you're speaking to people and you're recognizing through your strategy that and this authority inside, which is inside of you, the whole thing of you is your authority. It's the program. And the thing that tells you you're listening right, and this inner strategy of yours of waiting to see if it's right, is because you're willing to sample and take a little bit of this and take a little bit of that. And people get kept at bay until you let them in. And you let them in only a certain amount because you're going to change tomorrow and you're going to change tomorrow and you're going to change tomorrow. Get used to that shape shifting. And then watch this chemistry and watch this question. So we have the three questions so far. What's my impact? Who am I? That's the generator. And who are you is the projector. And then you've got your signature question. And that question is, who are they and what's my milieu? What's in my environment and who are they in my environment? Or just who are they generally? And it leads to the chemistry, of this thing that becomes this beautiful back and forth you get to see. There is this surprise that things worked out. That's the reflector way. Oh, look at that. Oh, that worked with that. Oh, this is good. And suddenly you can have people in your tribe. By the way, you're meant to have a tribe because other people routinely, randomly will connect you up. Get out in the public aura whenever you're feeling blue and funky. Just get in the public aura, please. Just like a triple split would. Um, and but recognize the difference between this thing that you're surprised and it feels good. A moment of surprise leads to a positive energy making chemistry that quote feels good. Cortisol, and all these things that whatever your physiology does it for you, it. And then there's disappointment, and that disappointment can be as profound as the generator's frustration, the disappointment that the other can't see, that the environment is unhealthy, that my milieu doesn't work, that the others aren't there for me, that the others, it's not working right. What ends up happening is because of that, you end up reflecting back out. How is the rest of the world doing? Almost like the umpire, very much like the umpire, doing good, not doing good, doing good, not doing good, as far as the rest of humanity goes. Recognize you're always seeing that. A burning question says, who are they? What is all of that? And inside of that question comes your surprises and your disappointments. When you see disappointment, you were initiating like a manifester too, or you were wishing you did and it left with disappointment. You were using your energy too much. You were forcing friendships or denying them when you shouldn't have. All kinds of things will happen as a reflector because they just simply don't know what the program is that's moving them. Come to know the program deeply for the reflector, starting with the moon.
Yeah, it's so cool with reflectors, this idea of being able to follow, especially the moon, but like following the transits, like if you can have your personal body graph and then the transit chart, see how it changes through the month. I think it's super cool because it's like I see how the transits change me, but it's like, okay, I'm either me or oh look, there's sacral or there's root. Like I can tune into just to like my couple open centers, but this idea that like a reflector could really tune into being or how the other types of beings really exist. Like if in the transits, hey, this is manifestor energy to really feel what that is. Like I think that's like so phenomenally epic. And then this idea, this like surprise and the disappointment, because it's like with so many open centers, it's like, oh my God, it could be so cool. It could be so cool. The potential is like here on awesomeness. And then people and the energy being weird, and they're sampling not self this, and a frustrated generator, and an angry manifester, and the bitter projector, and they're sampling all of this. Like, of course they're disappointed. Of course they're disappointed because it could be this cool, and it's like down here, and like the party sucks. Like,
Mm.
it makes absolute sense. And in
The
that
party's
sense that,
great and the party sucks. That's a great way to look at it.
right? Like, this place could be the best place ever, the worst. And that it's so interesting with the reflector Teflon aura, because it's like they're sampling it, but they're not eating the whole platter. You know what I mean? Where it's like, as a projector, I feel it's like I am inside the other person and I am eating this, and it's like old shellfish, and like I'm not feeling so great. Like, I am consuming it. Whereas the reflector is like, let me have a little hors d'oeuvre. I'm going to have a little appetizer. And the way that that aura protects them in a sense of not getting overly consumed with that openness.
Yeah, so where the manifester can sort of just walk through and the
They're like,
resistance
whatever, it's
field
fine.
is repelled,
Yeah.
the reflector can sort of still do the same thing, but people are curious about you guys because you're a unicorn in that way, by the way. So you get looks, but at the same time, they can't quite grab you. They can't quite grab you. You're that that thing that
Slippery.
you're slippery, Teflon. They can't quite unless you let them.
It's like those little water tubes that you played with the glitter. Your kids might have played with them. I don't know. They're in
Mm.
like 90s, 2000. They were just like a literal tube of water, and there's like glitter in them and like little toys, and you'd like squeeze and it would go flying up. That's what I imagine. Like, the reflectors are like, oh,
Oh,
like so fun, and then it goes flying out of your hands.
mm. I'm trying to picture it. I can't.
Don't worry,
Um,
I'll send you one.
So yeah, this is the you're watching the disappointment and the what's on the other side of that, that surprise that is rather deep in you because it indicates a form of good energy and you know it and you see it and it allows you to like be excited about what's next. But get into the transit field so you can start to see the rest of us have definition. Like Moni was saying, transits go by and all it means is there's Moni and then there's Moni plus, but not with you guys. With you guys, there's reflector one, and then reflector 1.1, and then reflector two, and then reflector 2.2, and on and on and on as the cycle goes around and the transits come into your body. And you're here sampling all of that too, big time, and reflecting back outward exactly what it says here. Who is living authentically? What is working authentically? Who has been conditioned? And who's been conditioned by that transit field, but just who is being themselves. And then you recognize, that which isn't. And suddenly you start to realize I do wait the lunar cycle, either a piece of it or all of it, or sometimes two. That's actually a healthy thing. And the rest of your mundane life is just done by your sampling. Your strategy is to witness where is your satisfaction, not satisfaction, where's your disappointment versus where is the surprise that comes into your life. Surprise and disappointment become a big measuring stick for you.
Yeah, and it's very interesting with this reflective nature of, I can only speak as like a projector who's been around a reflector, and the way it's neat to be around a reflector and kind of learn a little bit about yourself and how you come off to people. Because if somebody is like lighting up, like they're like, oh my God, I really love this reflector. It's like that means you like your own energy because they're reflecting a bit of it back to them. And also with that, be very careful of the people and places you hang out around. Especially with that open identity. That's like your spidey sense of like, am I in the right place? Am I with the right people? Because it's like you are going to be reflecting the environment and community around you. And I've seen some reflectors where I was like, oh, this reflector's really not looking good. And I was like, oh, this community is really sick. Like, I've seen that very viscerally kind of experience of, oh no, and this reflector has no idea and they're just kind of like lost in it or whatever. But I would say just be very careful of the communities that you inhabit and the people you hang out with and the places that you hang out with, because you're going to be really reflecting that for better and worse. So, like, use them spidey senses for your own good.
Mm, those spidey senses are so important. Go out and look at the moon. You already do it anyways, and start to recognize that this thing is within you and that you do keep people at bay, and it's perfect for you until you let them in. be with the right people, be out in the public aura, and recognize you too wait before you know for sure what the right thing is for you.
Yeah, absolutely. Give it that month. And if you feel weird somewhere, go somewhere else. Like, use that Teflon aura and like slip away because if you feel weird, you're going to be with the wrong people. So, use that wisely.
Yep. Again, you'll know it when you feel it. So,
Perfect. Mosey?
Mosey.
Doo-doo. So, in conclusion, symbiosis, not silos. Manifestors ignite, generators respond and sustain. Projectors refine and guide, reflectors evaluate and evolve, all without forcing square pegs into round holes. Wrong strategy, wrong frequency. Lean into yours and watch the resistance melt into momentum. In a world obsessed with doing more, the most powerful move is the one that feels effortless.
Yeah, I love this word momentum because we all get to experience it. It creates this motion of our lives that we want to have, and that's what the strategy and authority does. It taps you into, oh, my genetic body works this way. If I want that movement and that momentum to take place for me, I have to dial into this and recognize this is my gateway to understanding how best that will start to happen for me.
Perfect.
Mhm.
So that was our episode revisiting strategy and why each person, each type has their strategy and why it works and why it helps them and how they can play around with it.
Mm. Yeah, I thought that was really good, Moni. I think we pretty much got straight to the strategy without getting too involved in the authority part, because that would have taken even longer.
Yeah, no, next week we will be doing authority. We'll go through all of them and it's going to be like super fun and I like my graphics and prettiness. So, yeah, it was super fun. Any final thoughts on strategy? Tie it all
Follow your,
together?
just follow your strategy and authority. Let it become mundane and something you do nice and easily. It'll bring you back your life, and it'll show you that I'm right. The kid is always right. So start your strategy and authority experiment there. The kid is always right, but you got to see it. Seeing it kills it. So follow your strategy and authority and live the life you're supposed to have.
Yeah, and like make it fun. Like the human design, I don't know. I think it's supposed to be fun. I think it's so fascinating to play these experiments. Like, see what happens, manifestor, when you inform or when you don't. See what happens when you just do something and you bash into people and they get mad and then they try to control you and then you get mad and it all gets silly. Like generators, see what happened when you wait to respond and your sacral is so into something or it's not into it or initiate it and you don't have the energy and it gets all weird and frustrated and agitated. Projectors, see what happens when you wait to be invited and it's somebody who really appreciates you, who wants to hear what you have to say, and you get to feel all special and bubbly compared to, unknowingly peering into people and then they get upset because like they didn't ask you to peer into them and tell them about their lives. Like it's not
Mm.
going to feel good. Like that bitterness is just completely all consuming. I know very well. And reflectors, give yourself that time. Like you're really getting to experience this whole program like none of us. Like that's a wild thought. Like even Ross said when he was asked like what would his preferred ideal design be, and he said he'd want to be a reflector with no definition. Just everything is all white, no hanging gates, just all white to fully feel the program and the experience of being in it because it's changing, and like reflectors are our closest aspect of that. Like have fun with it, sample and give yourself time. Like don't commit to things, don't let other people's energy sway you from who you are and who you're meant to be and what you're meant to do here, but have fun with it. It's an experiment. If you're not playing with it and having fun, then why do it? Like,
Yeah, literally, you'll see. Seeing it is the whole makes the whole thing go by. It really does. It makes it all work. Follow your strategy and authority. Live the life you're supposed to have, essentially.
absolutely. So you want to dive into our juxtaposition crosses?
Well, let's do a juxtaposition cross.
Yeah. So
Bargains, right?
yeah, so we are going to be talking about the juxtaposition cross of bargains as we're making our way through all, 192 incarnation crosses. I think we have like 8 or something so far. So today we are going to talk about the juxtaposition cross of bargains.
Hmm. So bargains is going to be from probably gate 37, I'm guessing,
Yep.
right? And is it up here somewhere? That's funny.
It's going to be on the next page.
That's funny. I'm so used to it. So it's right in front of my face and I'm not even seeing it. It's just,
Yeah.
that's hilarious. But these bargains, it's tribal business. It's tribal business. It comes off of planning. So, and it moves into, I think, the plane and, the plane or movement, migration, the plane or migration, one of the two. And so this bargains is really important. You'll see
Perfect.
everything is a
Well,
bargain to these guys.
and if you are interested in booking a reading with either Danny or myself, you can check out the QR code above, or I have the links down in the description box below, and you can use code AWAKEN for 10% off. So we can hang out, talk about your chart. If you have any questions, you're having some issues coming up, we can help you out with that. And if you have been getting a lot out of our videos, there's tons in our playlist. If you're ready to dive into any aspect of human design and you'd like to encourage us and support us, we have our donation link right above, as well as down in the description box below. And thank you so very much.
Thank you, everyone.
And thank you to everyone who is watching, liking, subscribing, commenting, hanging out with us, having fun. We love having you, and let's get into it. So the juxtaposition cross of bargains, which is part of the solar plexus, the will, the sacral, and the throat. It's part of quarter one, which is the quarter of initiation. It's a very mental inspiration kind of energy. And the gates are 37, 45, and 35. And these people are born around the February 27th, more or less, depending on the year. These are our warm-hearted bargainers who no one can resist and who can be great at making or facilitating the deal for the progress of the community. Ra continues. The fixed bargain being everything is a bargain. Everything, and they are fixed on that. It doesn't matter what goes on in their lives. It really doesn't matter. Everything is about the deal. If you have a 4-1 profile in your life, it does no good to resist them. 4-1s are very fixed, and any juxtaposition cross is a 4-1. So they're very fixed. You can never ever change them. You just can't, but you can destroy them. There's nothing they can do. It is their fixed fate. With this cross, everything is a deal. Everything. If you meet one of these people and they bargain you to death, what to do? Understand the joke and all of that. The way in which society is organized through the cross of planning, you get to see its extremes in the bargain because that's what it is. We have these tacit bargains. We've built our civilization on these bargains. We have been able to expand at this incredible pace through these bargains.
These bargains are every single place. Do you know how many bargains are made just to get McDonald's to open up at 5 a.m.? The truck guy at the truck transportation place, the transportation place at the forklift guy at the manufacturer is going to deliver the stuff to deliver with their truck. You know, what I mean, it's just one giant long chain of bargains all the way through. Many of them in writing and many of them not. The symbol up here of the handshake is actually the first initial and the truest bargain. It's just, I agree. I agree. And it's as simple as, don't worry, I'll be there. I'll be there at 3. That's a bargain. You said 3. And my end of the deal was I'd be there too. You know, I mean, that's a bargain, and everything is sort of viewed this way. Why is that such a good thing, man? Well, truth is, very few people will have this juxtaposition. Very minor piece of the wheel. I haven't done the math in a long time, so actually I forget what percentage of people are any one juxtaposition cross. It's wicked small. It's
Oh,
point oh something percent or point oh something percent. It's not even as high as 0.1%, I would guess. Um, so very few people are going to have this cross. We need it in the world, though. What does it do? It brings friendly. It brings friendship and honor and the capacity for there to be loyalty. It brings a sensitivity to the bargain, to wanting it to be a bargain that, you know, is good for you too, essentially works for you as well. In its lower expression, it's I want to bargain strictly to get gain for myself at your expense. And you just have to watch, it would be one or the other, and you watch that person and let them be themselves. When they are themselves, what they're really doing is setting a tone that allows us to move into the next cross after this, which is consciousness. Actually, that's what comes after this one, right? Yeah, that'll be the cross of consciousness with the 63 and the 64. I think 63 is next, actually. So I am friendly. I'm emotionally clear that I'm friendly or not. I feel that what's going to be in this bargain is actually I'm going to give you some and I'm going to get some and I'm going to come to know who I am and know who you are. by how this all works with you. And I am incredibly fixed in that nature. And I teach the rest of the world around me that one way or another, everything's a bargain. Every last thing practically is a bargain. Moni, I'll see you at 7:30. That's a bargain. And God, the bargains you got back are like incredible. I mean, don't worry, I'll do the thing. I'll make sure the thing. It's incredible, Moni. All the things we say we're going to do are a bargain, and these people teach us to look, what level of bargain do I want? Because most of us are going to say, I don't want the level of bargain of Juxty over there. She's on 10, man. Everything's a bargain with her. It's like, hey, I got a pencil sharpener. Yeah, what are you going to give me for it? I just need to use it. Yeah, okay. Well, clean some dishes for that. Not
Eh,
that far, but it potentially, can go to lengths like that. So they're here showing us what degree of bargain so that we start to thinking about bargains generally. These people keep bargain in the world as something that needs to be considered. And thank God, because when we're at the marriage altar and say, I do, that's a bargain too. Let's get these things right. And these things, this cross urges us and moves us all to continue to get that right.
yeah, it's the negotiation, it's the deal.
Mhm.
And that's why I feel it's like as we're getting closer to this end of the cross of planning with 2027 into the Sleeping Phoenix, I feel that the 4037, like our negotiating skills will have to become more clear because the frequency of this energy is kind of starting to drop off, and we're going to have to be more on top of the deals and bargains that we make because the energy is just not there holding us up anymore. That's my own
Mm.
personal thought.
Well,
And
I
okay.
think we're going to see that. I agree. I agree with what you just said.
Yeah. And then, so 4-1 profile is about 2% of the population. So if we did 2% divided by 64, because there's going to be the 64 different
Yeah.
variations,
Yeah.
then it's 0.03%
Cool.
for each juxtaposition
Three
cross.
100ths of 1%. Remember, I said it wouldn't even be 1/10 of a percent.
Yeah. So continuing on.
Yep.
Our juxtaposition cross of bargains. They're here to create harmony through strategic agreements and timing. The purpose is to foster community bonds, gate 37, and liberation, gate 40, respecting natural rhythms of gate 5 for progress, gate 35. And the role is to negotiate fair systems to support collective advancement.
Totally, because we draw in these gates of the collective, the 35 and the 5, and it's very balanced here. The 35 is from the collective experiential side, the abstract, and the one that feels and tells stories. And the 5 is from the logical side, the understanding logical collective circuitry. And that's saying, hey, we fix patterns over here right out in the open, and 35 is we have progress, we have patterns in progress. This brings the patterned progress of what bond is right, and the bond becomes part of the bargain. In fact, the bond will determine the cleanness and the availability and the successfulness of that bargain in the first place. And so, in a lot of ways, the bargain brings us to the right bond, and then the right bond brings out the right bargains, and the bargain then reinforces the bond. It's just over. If your bud always comes through, and then you always come through for your bud, 10 years later, that trust is there. It's just there. It's so good. It's like you don't even have to think about it anymore. You know what I mean? In a way, it's that's what they're looking for, that trust and that loyalty and that sureness. That's part of my kin over there. That's my tribe.
Super cool. Ready for our next cross?
Sure.
So now we're going to talk about the juxtaposition cross of doubts, continuing on through all the incarnation crosses.
Mm. I like the little word up there we put at the very, just before we went on air. Answers right above his head.
Yeah.
Uh, the cross of doubts is not going to give us any answers, folks. So I'll explain why that's there when we get into the next slide. Why is that little answers thing up on either, with question marks all around it?
Because he's looking for the answers, but he's not
Yep.
necessarily going to find them.
Yep. It's got the energy and the pressure to go seek an answer, to
Ooh,
basically help come up with an answer logically, something that's understandable.
perfect. So the juxtaposition the juxtaposition cross of doubts, which includes the head, the will, and the throat centers. It's part of quarter one, the quarter of initiation, which is about mental inspiration. The gates are 63, 64, 26, and 45, and these people are born around March 4th. And these are bright, convincing, and influential skeptics who are capable of selling others on the need for logical answers to balance experience. Ra continues. As with any juxtaposition, they're very fixed. Remember those great comedy routines with the kind of person who is always whining? This could be called the cross of whining. This is where you'll hear, no, it won't work. No, it can't work. No, I don't think it will really work. You can't stop them. This is the kind of person who enters a room to take an exam and says, oh, I'm going to fail. Oh, it's terrible. I'm really not prepared. Nothing is going to work. And she gets 100%. You say to her, what was that all about? You got 100. She says, I don't know how it happened. I really wasn't prepared. I'm worried about the next one already. They always have their doubts, and it can be quite amusing. They also have their doubts about everyone else and their doubts about their lives. Since they have doubts about God, you can also find the roots of atheism in this juxtaposition. This is a deep doubt. God, I don't know that there is such a thing. I doubt it.
Yeah, that whole thing, and it causes the question even to keep getting asked. Again, this is the gate of creating a question to ask. And the only way that there's even any reason to have a good question to ask is because the logical pattern of something that's moving from present into the future, whatever that is, a car trip, right? And so I've got my maps and my navigation system. I'm expecting them to work. That's logical. And doubt will come in. Well, I hope it works. I don't know if it's going to work. Well, it works every other time. Doubt likes that process. Make it work over and over again. Give me the answer that performs the function of working over and over again as a reliable, logical process that I can share with others, that we can all identify as something that's pretty cool. That's what this thing is pressuring. It's starting the first, it's the beginning of the whole existential process of the question, and the all it has is the question. It's waiting for gate 4 to give the answer. It's pressuring gate 4 to do the mental work to give the answer. And as a pressure, it's doing what the head center is supposed to do. It's the pressure to translate what is our existence, existence in general. What is existence to me? It's a pressure to translate existence. I mean, literally. And that's a big ask. It's sort of like the pressure to come up with all the answers to, what the hell, what's going on? Where am I? What is all of this? Sort of like what the reflector has for existential questions. And it's important. We need that pressure. And so I can see why Ross said that. If that's a juxtaposition cross, this person is going to tend to doubt everything until they're truly in tune with their strategy and authority. And then they'll realize, hey, that doubt would be in a projected channel if it were there. And so I have to await the right timing to share. These people can come to know just because I have a doubt doesn't mean I have to say it. Why don't I wait a little bit and find out which doubts are actually worth saying, which feel like in the right timing? Most won't be heard is the thing. So this is a juxtaposition that can be painful, right? Because it could cause a lot of low pessimism feelings without even being a third line. It could just do this for any profile.
Yeah, I mean, it could just feel like it's constantly doubting and wondering, and like that could go to a dark place.
Yep.
Like anybody whose mind is just overly looping and things like rumination is just so awful to live within. And so I imagine having this kind of constant head pressure within a fixed profile could also be really exhausting if it goes in a weird way. Like as a scientist, this cross could be amazing, right? They're very
Hmm.
skeptical and let me test it. Let me test it again. Let me make sure it withstands the testing. Let me ask this new question. If it's angled in a positive way, it could be an amazing cross to have. But if it's somebody who's just going down conspiracy theories or dark rabbit holes, like you could go down a dark void very easily, I'd imagine.
And stay there without a capacity to get out because mind took over and started making the decisions for you, uh, starting with the decision that this doubt thing is important right now. Because this cross is centered so much in the head center, There's only three gates in the head center, and this cross greedily takes up two of them. You know, there's many, many crosses in the you know, in the available catalog of crosses. You'd figure with only three gates in the head center that it would be spread out a little more, but no, it stays right here until it moves on. So the doubt comes with the confusion. Obviously, in gate 64, we need that. And to have what we did was we were in rulership before this. I mean, we're heading into rulership after this. And so we go through dominion into rulership. And so consciousness leads to answering questions. That's why I put up the word answers. It comes out as doubts, but we need the doubt pressure in order to create questions to answer. This is about question creation as much as it is about question answering. And then once you create a question, then it becomes about question answering again. So it's still back to answers, but at the end of the day, this thing is looking for those answers, and it leads us there in this really convincing way because it's a juxtaposition. It's friendly, it's fixed, it has its things. And if you have a friend that with this cross or you yourself, just recognize they don't all need to be shared. Not only that, they're not all right. Get used to it. Get used to your doubts meaning not a dang thing like a whole ton of the time. They're just a feature pressuring awareness to do a little bit of thinking.
Perfect. So, in conclusion, the juxtaposition cross of doubts is about questioning patterns to lead with wisdom and tribal authority. The purpose is to resolve doubts with Gate 63 through past insights, Gate 64, guiding tribes, Gate 45, strategically, Gate 26. And the role is as a fixed leader who clarifies truth for the collective.
A fixed leader who clarifies truth for the collective and the tribe.
Yeah.
Yep. I like that. That's actually pretty good. This is so what you're looking at is the keynoting of the gates. This is what we do. We stack up the keynotes so we get to know what this thing is. Yeah, I love that when we do that. I'm not used to seeing it in writing. That's funny.
Yeah,
Um,
that's what I made it like this because I thought it'd be a cool way to look at the incarnation
it
cross.
really is. Well, if you're watching this, understand that this is a synthesis of keynoting what Moni just put up there. This is why we have so many keynotes for each gate and each function and each thing. So ultimately we can string together language. This is a sentence right here. And if you didn't know there were keynotes, it's totally, you could read it as a regular sentence in a book. So, but just juxtaposition itself, the questioning of the pattern is the thing. That is the question. By the way, there's a great paranoia in this gate. I doubt, and therefore it could all go wrong. So there's like that in there. We've mentioned that. And it's also recognize that it's there and then it's not, meaning it's mental anxiety mixed with mental ease. It's supposed to, it just goes away and then it comes back and then it goes away and then it comes back. So recognize that sort of pattern that works that way. I mean, it is part of the splenic system as it gets all the way down there, even though it's the ajna binary, it still goes down through that. So it's in the moment. It's got a doubt, but doesn't have a doubt. Let it be that way. If you have an open head, let it pour through. It's not that important to you. You'll see that there's really nothing to do at that point. So I like this juxtaposition of doubts. It shows what happens after consciousness. Consciousness is answer more questions. You know, you can go full. Consciousness is answering more questions. That's what consciousness is. Don't stop asking the questions. And the questions won't come in any meaningful way if we don't have a doubt energy pressuring more questions and more answers. Pressuring the answering of more questions. So if you're on this juxtaposition, just recognize you like to pressure the answering of questions. And if that drives some people a little bit crazy, oh well, you can announce it next time. You might want to limit your exposure to me, but still be my friend. Make a joke out of it. You can't help it. You can put it where it belongs, and you can follow your strategy and authority and recognize most of the time you're not even really supposed to let the doubt concern you very much, but you'll discern that for yourself. Mm-hmm.
Fantastic. I feel really good about all of this.
The juxtaposition of doubts.
Absolutely. So, if you would like to book a reading with either Danny or myself, check out the QR code right above me. I also have it down in the description box below, and you can use code AWAKEN for 10% off so you can save a little bit and we can have some fun doing your reading, talk about whatever you got going on, and help you understand your chart better.
Mm.
And if you've been getting a whole lot out of our videos, if you've been enjoying and learning a whole bunch and you'd like to donate to support us and encourage us, the QR code is right above, also down in the description box below. And we thank you very much.
Thank you, everyone. Can't wait to what we do next, but we'll see you soon.
Yeah, absolutely. So, thank you to everyone who is watching, liking, subscribing, commenting, asking us questions. We love having you. Thank you for being here with us. Oh, next week we're going to go over all the authorities. So, we did strategy made simple. So, next up we will do authority made simple, and we're going to go all through those and have a whole lot of fun with it. So, we'd love to see you there.
Nice. Catch you around, everyone.
Absolutely. Catch you later.